We're now journeying through the Alphabet District because there's a few old theaters here. One of which is still functioning as a theater. The other that's functioning as another business. You could walk by it and totally not even know that it used to be a theater. Oh my God, that is absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, we're coming towards sort of near the area of 21st and Hoyt. Gonna stop off, take a look at the Century 21 cinema. It originally had a different name. I think it was called the State Theater, but you know, got revitalized and got renamed, and it's been the Century 21 for quite a while now. And there we go. Cinema 21. My bad. So while there's a quick stop, man, Clerks coming to life. You know, back there's part of the building. Obviously, this is all part of the same building. Yeah, it's been called Cinema 21 for a while now. This theater dates back a ways. I believe this one dates back at least to the 1920s, and this is obviously an old school marquee they have here. It's just totally awesome. Still out, looking for some more cool theaters to show you with the short hair. Hey, I should just hang out in here for a while. I don't want to go back out in the rain. Screw it, it's what I came here to do. Here we go. We're heading from the Alphabet District more into the Nob Hill neighborhood, which, you know, they pretty much run into each other, up to Kearney, which I think I'm coming up to Kearney right now, where there is another theater, or at least a former theater, that you wouldn't know used to be a theater. Oh, son of a jackal, it's cold. But we made it to 23rd and Kearney, which is right up here. This is where a building is that was once known as the Esquire Theatre. Classy, no? And here she be. This is now the Salt and Straw and Rambo something or other, but originally, once upon a time, this was the Esquire Theatre. And we're only a couple blocks down. You know, you go about 1 block down, 2 blocks over, that's where the the Cinema 21 is. But this is another theater that I believe was built in the 1920s. I mean, it's really cool. You've got this kind of arched end point, and yeah, there's probably some good pictures getting played up in here. So in all seriousness, I have no clue where I am. I think I'm in the St. John's area. I've never been to St. John's my whole life. St. John's neighborhood. Lived in the Portland area my whole life, over 30 years. Never been to St. John's. Seriously, I have no idea where I am right now. Okay. I made it to Lombard. That's the road I was trying to get to. I am in St. John's, but I know where I am now. Alright. Now in historical, I guess you could say, St. John's. And then right over here is the St. John's Cinema, which went under another name back in the day, but this is the theater. It's still here and still being used as such. this part is still being used as a theater, but you can tell by the structure that this was all once part of the theater, which leads me to believe, I mean, unless the theater just kind of entered here and the screen is kind of behind here, because this is like pizza business now, so maybe it's on the other side of that. Obviously, this is a pretty good-sized theater. And what's particularly cool is you can see the cinema from here, but then if you back up and turn slightly, there's the St. John's Bridge. It's that close. So I'm walking through Sellwood now, and I don't like what I see. So there's a demolition going on, but I'm not here for that. There are, because Sellwood's, you know, pretty, in some ways, an old area. Not as old as I thought when I was younger, but there's a couple buildings, actually right next to each other pretty much, like about a block apart, that are still standing, that used to be theaters, are no longer. And if you go through Sellwood, there's one pretty popular historic theater, and that's the Moreland one. That one's still standing, it's still being used as a theater. It's still pretty popular in these parts, but there are two other theaters here. One is on Tacoma Street, about a little less than a block south of its intersection with 13th Avenue. That one was called the Sellwood, simple enough. And then if you are going down Tacoma and turn north on 13th and go one block down to 13th in Spokane, there was the Star Theater. There was, like, I swear, like 5 Star Theaters in Portland, but this was another one. So I'm gonna take you by there. And here we are. What is now a Columbia sportswear store primarily. This was the modestly titled Sellwood Theater, built in the late 30s. And I think one of the reasons that this was kind of a popular theater, even going into its later years, was because this is one of the last theaters that was like, it just had one big screen. And the last and only movie I ever remember seeing here was the 1996, I believe, classic film Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal. I always hated Shaquille O'Neal when he was a basketball player, but I was also obsessed with basketball, so if a movie came out starring a basketball player, I was going to watch it. So, despite its obvious alterations, you can really tell that they kept the theater style. I mean, look at the upper floor up there. That is... You know, I never appreciated this when I was a kid coming to watch movies here. This was just a movie theater. Man, thank God they didn't just completely renovate and destroy this place. So, with the backside of the Sellwood Theater here, I need only turn to show us where the next theater was. Now, this building that is now painted red behind me, it's the Cat Hospital of Portland. Up until about 2003, 2004, this was an antique store known as the Sellwood Peddler. My mom actually worked here for about 7 years. It used to be really kind of dusty and rustic and kind of run down, but in a good way looking on the inside. And they had a big back room that was just chock full of just sporadic antiques. It was way overpriced, but I mean, it was awesome nevertheless. It was a good place to just go, like, you know, looking around. Well, if you look directly past it, and it's completely whited out, it was known as the Star Theater. And I believe that was the original purpose of this building. And now that I really look at it, like, obviously it's been changed over the years, but I really can kind of tell it has that very 1910s kind of tiny suburban theater look to it. But it's been a tavern for a long time. And as I walk past the old Star Theater, I've also heard rumors that this building directly behind me at one time may have been a theater, but I haven't found anything to corroborate that. But I just want to kind of, yeah, you look up there, the railing up there is really old and cool. And so this is the back side of the theater, and the doors open. Obviously I didn't want to walk right in. It says deliveries only. I wasn't gonna walk in, but you get like you could get a look into the interior and see how old and gritty this building is. Yeah, it's a freaking movie theater. Literally on the other side of this wall, there was a big movie screen at some point in time. And yeah, I remember this is where you parked for the peddler. This is where my mom parked every day, and she would go through that door, which is a lot better looking now. And that was how you got into the back way or the back side of the building. And then you unlocked it from the inside, because I don't know, it's how the building was made. We are now on Thurmond, again, northwest Portland, and it's getting a bit drizzly, so I've had to pull out the big guns. But anyway, I'm coming up to the corner of 24th and Thurmond, where we will find the gorgeous Ideal Theater. And yes, I would agree, this theater is ideal. My God, that joke was terrible. That joke, in and of itself, was a joke. And through here to the darkness, you can see the middle entryway. You can see it's very movie theater-esque. You got the cool tile, the door. There's even a mail drop-off box there. Very, very theater-esque for its time. And I was accurate, it is functioning as it's like clothing store, jewelry store type thing, but man, look at that up there. Original ghost sign still there. I love it. Alright, so for one of the last places I'm going to show you, walking along Broadway now on kind of the fringe of the Irvington district, because I've got a cool little building up here to show you. And so we've come to the intersection of 14th and Broadway and the Irvington. I mean, yeah, even if you don't know the history of the area, you look at this building with its broad structure, the sign up there, and you just think, yeah, this definitely had to have been a theater at one time. And to wrap things up, I'm now walking along 82nd Avenue through the heart of East Portland. Just want to leave you one final really cool thing that's fortunately still around before I wrap things on this lengthy video. It took me like 6-7 different days adventuring out different parts of town to get all these damn theaters on video because they're so scattered all around. Through all these trees, you can see this large building in the background. This was Portland's first multiplex theater. I'm located walking along 82nd, just north of Division. This building is now functioning as a Slavic church, but you can tell by the look of it, it's got kind of a theater-ish vibe. I believe this was built in the 70s, and this was a movie theater right here along 82nd. It was known as Eastgate, and fortunately for us, one major relic of its theater days is the original sign is still here, marking this as Eastgate. Oh, that took a long time to get done, but I finally finished. While granted, this isn't, a really old former movie theater. It was the first multiplex theater. That kind of gives it some credence, a little historic value. The original sign's still here, which is great. I think there's a drive-through or two around the Portland area that is no longer in existence, but still have signs like this up. So the movie theater history in this city lives on. And all that said, I am beat and exhausted. Fun trip. Got to see a lot of places I've never seen before. But on that note, I must bid you adieu. So, my fellow explorers and adventurers, this has been Steve, the Amateur Historian. And I'll see you next time.